Hey, what's going on guys? It's me, Aiden. Welcome back to another video. Now, today, in case you weren't aware, the Shanghai special actually came out. Yesterday, we got Truth. Now today, we have the Shanghai special. We had a back-to-back episode release. So as I was watching, I wrote down some notes on things I wanted to talk about, very similar to what I did yesterday with Truth. And so I'm just going to be going through those notes and talking about it. If there's anything today that I don't mention that you thought I should have or that you want to talk about, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, let's just go ahead and hop right into this video. Now, I did want to mention this again because some of you may not know, this special actually takes place between season 2 and 3, which is sort of why it feels like we went back in time. You know, there's no Shadow Moth, or Marinette still likes Adrian. It's very weird and confusing, but just know that between season 2 and 3 is where this took place, which again I think is really weird because we see their space power-ups but we don't see them at all in season 3, but whatever, that was just sort of like a last minute thing that they had to do for this special, but whatever, it's fine. Just wanted to put that out there because some of you may have been a little bit confused while watching this, being like, wait, doesn't Marinette like Luca or something like that? I don't know. So yeah, just want to put that out there. Now I do want to say, SAMG did a fantastic job. You know, after seeing the first 2 episodes that we've gotten from season 4, man, I already miss SAMG. Their animation and rendering is just so good, and oh man, it's just really nice to see an SAMG related thing. And it's unfortunate that they're only doing a few episodes of season 4, which I guess is better than doing none at all. But just saying, I wish they would have done more episodes. Honestly, I would have rather them do all episodes of season 4 and not the specials than doing only the specials and a few episodes of season 4. But that's just me. If you have other thoughts, let me know down in the comments. Now from here on out, I'm going to be talking about things actually like in the special, and I will be going in order of the special for the most part. So yeah, first thing I wanted to talk about, which is sort of something I've already talked about before because we saw it in a clip, that is the Prejudice is apparently more powerful than the Miraculous. Nuru knows this, and the fact that Nuru knows this, and maybe Tiki knows this as well, does that mean that they're connected in some way? I don't know. There's just a lot to the Prejudice that we don't know. Because, I mean, obviously it's just sort of like a sideline thing for this special. We're never really going to see it again. It's not going to matter in the future. But I am curious, nonetheless, because it is an interesting concept. I really like it. But going back to my main point here, since this Prejudice is so much more powerful than some of the Miraculous, that's why Hawkmoth once said, he's like, alright, I'm going to use this to defeat Ladybug and Cat Noir. And the thing about this is, I don't know, why would they put it, like, the cave wasn't highly guarded. You know, I feel like, I mean, obviously Suhan has sort of been dead, but I feel like this would have been in better hands. You know, if it's this powerful of an object, and it's relatively easy to get in, you know, I mean, like, the cave, not super hard to get in. Obviously, you had to have the key, but still, like, it was relatively unguarded. There wasn't, you know, it was fairly easy for them to break in. So, I don't know. I just feel like something for this powerful, it was pretty lax on security. So, I don't know. Now, I did also talk about this next part in my trailer analysis, or clip analysis, I think it was. But Gabriel has been planning this for 15 years. Why? Like, does this mean that Gabriel has been evil for 15 years? Like, we know that he and Emily used the Miraculous, and that's sort of how it got damaged. But why were they using the Miraculous? Were they using it for bad or for good? I don't know. And it makes me really curious to know, because it's like, what were they doing for these past 15 years where Gabriel wanted this Prejudice? Like what? I don't know. It just means that Gabriel has been doing possibly evil stuff for a while. The other option is that he and Emily were doing good, and somehow the Peacock Miraculous got damaged. And then now he just turned to evil to try to bring Emily back, right? But they were doing good, so maybe that's why he's justifying it, is because, like, I'm bringing back a good person or whatever. So, I don't know. It's just, I find it weird that Gabriel has been doing these shady things for, like, 15 years now. He's been putting this plan into action for a while. So, yeah, it just makes me interested into what Gabriel's doing. Next thing I wanted to talk about is how powerful Faye is. Like, she doesn't even need the Prejudice, and she's already basically a superhero. Like, how is she so powerful? Like, she could break things and, like, hit people without actually hitting them. Like, what is this? Like, how come she gets these powers and nobody else does? Like, where can we learn how to do this stuff? Now, I want to take this moment to appreciate all the people who helped Marinette out, and those 3 guys who tried to return Marinette's bracelet. Ah, man, that made my heart feel warm inside. That was very nice of them, and it made me realize that the real heroes of the day are those of you out there in the world making the lives of everyone else just a little bit better, you know? It's your everyday heroes that we oftentimes forget about, but they are the ones in the end that we should probably be appreciating most, because there's just so many of them out there. So yeah, I don't know, just want to thank everyone out there in the world who does good things for the world. Now this next part is something I pointed out in a trailer analysis I did last week, but I'm going to point it out again, and that is that Cat Noir was really smart, even if he wasn't intending on it. He was very smart to call Ladybug and be like, hey, Marinette's in Shanghai, can you come help me? Because that just, the New York special had a lot of problems with that, but in this one it was very simple, because all Cat Noir had to say was like, yeah, I saw Marinette on the news and she needs help, right? And then that gave an excuse for Ladybug to be in Shanghai, even though she already was as Marinette, and it gave an excuse for Adrien to be there as Cat Noir. So everything worked out in the end. Like, that was really good. Like, even though Cat Noir probably didn't intend for it to work out that way, it just did, and it was very nice. But the thing is, which I know it sort of goes back to like quantum masking and the denseness or whatever, but people should probably think about like, why is Hawkmoth here? Like Ladybug was like, oh, looks like Hawkmoth took a trip to Shanghai too, but she didn't question like, why was he in Shanghai? I mean, I guess that's pretty obvious, actually. You know what? Never mind. I answered my own question. That was stupid of me. Everyone had excuses for going to Shanghai, and that was very good. So, well thought out. I can't believe I forgot that the whole, like, last eclipse or whatever, what was it called? I don't remember already. Oh, that's too bad. The eclipse. That's why Hawkmoth was there. Yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry about that. Now, some of you may have noticed that there was a bit of a change in the transformation music. There was also a change in the Season 4 intro music as well. It's a slight change. Well, actually, the intro music is pretty noticeable, actually, but it might be harder to tell since we haven't had an English episode, but you will notice once it comes out in English. Now, I will say, not the biggest fan of the new, like, transformation sequence, like, music. It's very similar, but there is a slight difference. I don't know. I just don't like it as much. I don't know why. I'm just not feeling it. Maybe it's because I'm not used to it, but I don't know. Especially the intro music. Here's the thing though. I'm gonna have to wait until I hear the English intro before I make my judgment. But going based off of the Portuguese one was was like pretty bad. So I'm just hoping that they do the English version better. I actually like the English intro, so I don't know. Hopefully it sounds just as good, because if not, they should have just stuck with the old one. Now, one thing I thought was interesting is that there's like this mystical guardian called Meishi, and Meishi is the lion, which is the guardian of the Prejudice. Now, I thought that was interesting that the Prejudice had its own guardian, as this whole Prejudice is weird, because, I mean, obviously we know like sort of the lore behind the Miraculous, and that is that there are kwamis created for each new concept, like, or abstract idea. For example, creation, like that's sort of like an abstract idea or concept. So a kwami, Tiki, was created for that concept. And monks essentially just created the Miraculous to sort of like essentially forge a bond with those kwamis and allow them to transfer into the material world. That's the story behind the Miraculous. But we don't really know what the story is and like why there's a guardian for the Prejudice and how there's like all these Redlings and stuff like that. Redlings are supposedly the cousins of the kwamis, but we don't really know all the specifics like we do for the kwamis. So I don't know. It's just very interesting. I'd love to learn more. We're not going to, unless if like Thomas comes out on Twitter and explains it. But pretty much everything that we found out in the special is, for the most part, all we know about it. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting that Meishi is the guardian, and I will touch on him a little bit later, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Alright, so this is just some general info on the Prejudice user. Now, the person who uses or wears the Prejudice is called Ren. Now, that is the French version, so that may change with the English translation, but as far as we know right now, Ren is what the person is called when they wear the Prejudice. Now, one thing I actually thought was really cool with this Prejudice thing is that only the Ren can see the Redlings. Now, the Redlings are the individual, like, they're essentially the kwamis of the Prejudice. I know it's kind of confusing, but yeah. Now, the Redlings are the spirits of human values. So while Kwamis are sort of like abstract ideas of just the world and the universe in general, the Redlings are the spirits of the human values. Now, the issue with this I have, and the reason why I was sort of confused earlier, is there's a lot more human values than just the Redlings that we have with the Prejudice. So it probably has something to do with like Chinese lore or something that I'm not aware of. But I feel like you would have a lot more human values than just the Redlings that we saw. So I don't know. Probably goes back to some sort of Chinese lore. If you guys actually know about that, please leave a comment because I would love to find out. Now, for each of the Redlings, you can be transformed into the animal that they represent as long as you are worthy of the values that that animal represents. So, for example, in order to change into the mantis, you have to have patience. And for example, the bear, you have to be calm. And so, yeah, my problem with this special is that it was a little bit rushed, as in, like, we couldn't see Faye develop her powers. I mean, this is a very common theme with Miraculous in general, is like, they get a new power, they instantly know how to use it, pretty much, and then they're good with it, right? I wish we saw more development with that, but obviously, given the nature of the specials, we can't really do that, and just with the episodes in general as well. But yeah, I would have loved to see Faye have to, like, train to, like, master like each of these elements and stuff like that. But again, since this is just a one-off special, not really important, so we're just gonna have to deal with what we got. Now, the Dragon Long can actually control all of the elements, which is very interesting. So I would presume like fire, water, like air, and then earth. Now, the dragon is the most powerful, and it takes like it's the hardest to control because you have to like be worthy. And that was sort of the whole thing, right? Like, Faye could easily use the other ones, but there was the dragon that she couldn't use until she was like, all right, I need to become noble, and I need to do this not for myself to get revenge, but to help out other people, etc. And that's why she was able to use it in the end. So I guess we did see a little bit of that, but again, it would have been really cool to see Faye go through this whole, like, training arc where she had to learn how to be patient, and she had to learn how to be calm, things like that, because she did at the end there when she was sort of like yelling at the what was his name? I don't remember his name, but the mafia member, that's just what I call him. When she was yelling at him, that was sort of like, it felt like she was going out of control there a little bit. Obviously she cooled down at the end. It was like, all right, I'll take you to the courts or whatever, right? But yeah, I felt like that would have been like a good time for her to be like, all right, I need to calm down, need to have my composure, things like that. Now, the Prejudice is really cool. I really like the concept, but if I'm being honest, I prefer the Kwamis and the Miraculous concept a little bit better. I don't know. I like it. I like the whole Prejudice idea. It just feels a little overpowered. I don't know. It wasn't clicking with me as much because it's just a singular thing. I like the team aspect of the Miraculous and how there's different kinds of it. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I can't really describe it. It's hard to describe. Maybe it's because, you know, we don't get to see as much of the Prejudice and it's only this one-time special thing. But yeah, definitely prefer the Miraculous for some reason. Now, the final thing I want to talk about is Meshi here. You know, the Lion Guardian. At the end, Meshi seems to be like a Kwami or something. I don't know what's going on. He's like the most confusing thing that we've seen in this special because it's like, well, is he a Guardian? Is he a Kwami? Because he sort of came out of the key. So is that a Miraculous? Like, like what is this? Like, I don't know. If anyone has any ideas, please let me know. I'd love to find out and hear your thoughts on it. But yeah, it was like, cause that means that Faye, like, could you combine the Redlings with Meshi? I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's never gonna be answered, and I'm gonna be left with these questions forever. But you know, it's just putting out my thoughts on there, cause yeah, I don't know. I'd love to find out, but we're not going to, and it's very unfortunate. There were also a lot of little references to the New York special and things like that. I liked that. The bodyguard was great as always. Loved him. Also, I completely skipped over this point at the very beginning. But Gabriel, how are you doing this to Adrian? Adrian just wants to spend a little bit of time with you, but you ignore him. And that made me mad. And I forgot to touch on it because I guess I skipped over the point. But yeah. Mean Gabriel, bad Gabriel. But anyway guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, you can leave a like and subscribe for more content similar to this, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Si tu as ce message, rejoins-moi, j'ai besoin de ton aide.
Ah, gentil minou.